There's no such thing as too many stolen valuables from across the world, as the famous saying goes. So, in this video, we show you 6 loot items you didn't know you needed.
Wunderbar!
Loot. Glorious loot. As eye-catching as all the potential loot items you can beg, borrow and steal from the world map are, not all these ill-gotten gains were created equal. Don't look at us like that, Mr. Scruffles. You're a glorified statue and you know it. To help you decide which precious plunder you want to make space for in your lair, however, we're going to run you through some of our personal faves that we think are among the most useful. Although it does go literally against everything Maximilian stands for, we believe that it's worth choosing your loot carefully. What was that, Mr. Scruffles? You don't like being next to Mishka? Well, learn to make us a cup of tea and we'll think about putting you next to the useful loot items. Okay?
Part of being a successful evil genius is putting out metaphorical fires, from extinguishing heat from the world map to settling heated debates between minions. And yes, Jill, it was wrong of Nigel to go on his lunch break 5 minutes early so he could get the last serving of lasagna.
Indeed.
All of this means that putting out literal fires that break out within the lair is low down on the list of priorities. Introducing the Hubbard Slice. This hunk of ice can be placed within your lair and is used to put out and prevent any fires within its area of effect. We recommend popping it in a room prone to catching fire like the power station. You don't mind being in here, do you, mate? Nothing to say? Didn't think so. One thing to bear in mind though is that if you choose to go after the flames of Prometheus first, that will temporarily lock out the Hubbard Slice. Once it's safe though, you should be able to pick it up. The Hubbard Slice is a personal favourite though, and means your evil genius is free to… What's that, Nigel?
What now?
Jill stole the last lasagna back when you went to the toilet. Be right back.
If I must.
Geniuses, do your training rooms look like this? All clogged up with bulky gear that only gets used when a big old chunk of your workforce is annihilated in brutal combat? Does your team of scientists have a bottleneck here at the blackboards where they learn the secrets of the universe? Don't you wish there was a way to lighten up the logjam when you're hiring new Poindexters that didn't take up a small supermarket car park's worth of space? Enter the Dodo Educator. Don't ask me how, why, when, or indeed where, but at some point someone's found one of these famed extinct birds, placed it in a glass enclosure with some educational tools, put all of that on a plinth, and then we've nicked it. The end result is a scientist training tool that takes up just 4 squares in your base, trains faster than a regular science trainer without the need for a teacher, and it massively impresses any passing workers who find their smarts replenished as a result of their proximity to it.
You can call me the Oprah Winfrey of arms dealers because thanks to this next item, you get a ray gun, you get a ray gun, you get a ray gun. Sorry. Next up we have the Ray Gun Dispenser. We've popped ours in the armory, so the muscle minions who are able to use it can get to it easily. We thought we'd move it as close to them as possible because, you know, they're always incredibly busy. This is a lovely straightforward loot item that allows all muscle minions to equip a ray gun, subject to availability of course. And as you can see here, they're particularly useful at helping to fend off unwanted visitors. It's space efficient, pun intended, and if any of your minions die, their ray gun will return to the dispenser, ready for any newly inducted muscle lads to grab as soon as they're out of orientation. Zap!
Next up, we've got a loot item that probably won't change your whole game, but it's a surprisingly useful addition to any lair and proves oddly watchable. If you have a criminal network in the very, very southern Anvil district and you've ticked off the socialite mission recruitment side story, you'll see the loot side story pop up for the Tucker BBQ, an impressive flaming surface adorned in Aussie regalia, complete with seemingly infinite ice-cold tinnies and enough grub to feed 5 people without the need for an assigned minion to feed it to them. And I do mean grub. Frankly, the size of those things makes me want to do a little dry heave in my mouth, so we move on super quick before I ruin yet another collarless blazer. Thank you.
We've pulled this next loot item straight out of that one fairy tale that gave every child nightmares. It's Rumpelstiltskin's wheel, with a bit of a tech upgrade, mind. Rather than trying to pinch your children, or whatever it was that Rumpelstiltskin did, however, minions who use this loot item will be able to produce more gold. There is a slight catch, however, as it is a pretty slow process. As you can see here, our minion is working overtime to show us the money, all under the watchful eye of Emma, of course. Come on, hands where we can see them. We will be asking you to jump up and down afterwards. And you better hope you haven't left your keys in your pocket, because if Emma hears even the slightest jingle, it's all over for you.
In the olden days, children, there was none of this contactless payment. Oh no. You had to actually put your card in the machine and enter a 4-digit code, which we used to call a Charleston or a Fosbury flop. But Evil Genius 2 imagines a time before even that, when arcane tokens were exchanged in person to signify a designated monetary value changing hands, and we stored these tokens in hollowed out ceramic pigs, for reasons that have been lost in time. Anyway, here's the world's largest one of those. Yes, the self-proclaimed world's largest piggy bank is actually a real space saver when you pop it in your vault, giving you an extra 30,000 gold storage so you don't need to keep shelling out on racks for your bullion. Even better than that, once it's in your ownership, it unlocks special missions on the world map which cough up 120,000 gold when you complete them. So that's us suited and looted with 5 items you didn't know you needed. There's a ton of loot out there though, so let us know which items you personally prefer in the comments. Leave us a like if you enjoyed this video and subscribe to us and tinkle the bell if you want to see more from us. We'll catch you in the next one.